At the core of the left, at the core of a liberal, is someone that would use the sword if they had it. They are very violent people at their core. They always have been.
Leaning this way, running that way.
That would make sense. That's like literally right after it, right?
Yeah. Yep. Look at that. Oh, yep. Because you can see he starts about the middle of the roof when the video starts. He gets to there before the video moves.
I think it's Congresswoman from Colorado, Republican. She got up today and said, hey, I want to say a prayer and a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. And basically right after she said that, the Democrats started screaming and shouting, no, 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 and tried to shout down Speaker Johnson. This is third world crap. You know what I mean? And so when I sit there and think about this is what I envision America should be, or even what our founders envisioned America should be. This is not what I fought for. This is not what thousands or millions of other service members have fought for.
He was not there to give his wife and his kids a hug and kiss goodnight. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while since you've seen more than just my beautiful face. My ugly mug. Ryan, we have a very somber, sobering, very sad thing to talk about today. Happened right down the road from where I used to live in Orem, Utah. Just really, really weird to think about that. Like, I was only maybe a mile from UVU. Maybe a little more than that.
Really? I didn't know you were that close.
Yeah, I was pretty dang close. I just had to hop on onto 1500 North and just go straight down. There I was.
Okay.
Yeah. So Charlie Kirk, man, all I know is that, and hopefully I don't get all, I'd like such a blub here, but I really am just sad and blown away. So were you the one in the group that mentioned that it happened? Like I'm trying to remember someone's posting in the group, Charlie Kirk got shot. And I was like,
it must have been Tyler, because I hadn't seen anything yet. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then pretty quickly he sent the video that was on X.
That's right.
And when I saw that, I was like I hadn't seen anything like that since like Afghanistan or Iraq.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was just like, it almost looked AI for a second. Just
it's so surreal.
Yeah, like it's just the way it all moved and how it happened. I was like, it almost looks fake at first, because it seemed weird to me that the video would be available that quickly. I mean, I know with social media stuff becomes available pretty quick, but
True.
I was like, man, like even with the Trump stuff, it seemed like it took a couple hours before we ever saw anything. I feel like maybe not. I don't know, but I just feel like it happened. It developed so quickly on our end of it. I was like, dang, it happened that fast. So
it was so surreal. I never had a moment where I questioned if it was AI or not, but I guess I was just kind of baffled, right? Because you've seen violence like that. So for you to be able to see it and go, well, maybe it's AI, that's because your brain, you've witnessed that sort of stuff, right? Whereas I've not. So for me, my brain instantly doesn't go to, could this be fake generated? Mine is just total shock, right?
It's a bit of both. I guess you could say it was shock, where I was like, okay, this cannot be happening here like this. I mean, obviously crap happens across the country, so it's not like this is there's violence in America. Like obviously that's not that's not what I'm saying with this. It was just so, dang, I have not seen such a graphic image like that since deployments pretty much. So
we have an uncle there, and apparently he was at the event. My mom sent me the message that he sent her. Apparently he wasn't too far away. In the video she originally sent, she said that he was across the street, but then in his text message, he was saying he was like in the crowd right there.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe he walked over to see the aftermath. But all I know is that, like, the first video I saw, and if you're squeamish, probably just mute it for a moment. But what I saw was the side view, right? And then hits his jugular and he freezes up. But then I saw the one was the front view. That was way worse, right? Because that's where it just became way more evident that he was losing blood a million miles a second, and
Mm-hmm.
and it looked like it hit his spine, and he went totally rigid. I mean, just
Yeah.
yeah, it's just terrible. I mean, sorry, I like I hopefully this is not coming off disrespectful talking about these logistics of things, but it's just so terrible.
Yeah, it was such a like, whoa, okay, that's not what you normally see on a news feed kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, like instantly I was just thinking of it's like crap, dude, that looks like something that happened in Afghanistan. Like, what the heck is this on especially with somebody like Charlie Kirk, you know?
A peaceful guy. He's not asking and calling for riots. He's not
Uh,
leading violent, stuff. And then out of nowhere, yeah, it's just interesting because, and I'm gonna try to find this video is if my video producer Tom reminds me. It was literally last night, I believe. I was watching a video where it showed him at some random campus somewhere, something talking. And it looked like it was a very recent video. And this lady was like, "Why are you doing this?" Like she sounded like she was British, and he's like, "Well, because we have to be able to have hard conversations." And
mm-hmm.
once both sides stop talking to each other, then that's when violence happens because we don't believe that we can find middle ground and we can talk to each other.
Yeah. Well,
I
and what
literally watched that, and then he gets
yeah,
murdered by someone who believes there's no common ground to discuss anything. You can't discuss those sort of things.
yeah, right. Yeah. That's what I guess that's where it seemed all that much more shocking because although he's a political figure, he's not a politician running for any kind of office that has any kind of power.
Well, so here's what someone mentioned. They said, well, the primaries are coming up, and it's like, oh, that's this is a really good point because Trump has the MAGA movement. But
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk actually, at least so far as I could tell, was the number one conservative in America. He was because he led the Christian
Yeah.
conservative movement. Trump doesn't lead the Christian conservative movement. He has a lot of overlap with that audience,
Yeah.
but Charlie Kirk was the face of the Christian conservative movement. He
Yeah.
he's bigger than Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, all those guys. He
Mm.
he really is, right? Like he
Well, yeah,
basically like
he's hitting the college crowd and even the high school
yeah,
crowd,
exactly.
real grassroots kind of stuff.
Exactly. He's basically like if you go back 20 years, he's like Glenn Beck's movement. Glenn Beck was the
Mm.
biggest movement out there,
Yeah.
Christian movement, and
Yeah.
he has the older audience now. And Charlie Kirk started this whole new thing, where
Yeah.
he went after the younger people, and now he's gone. And I can't even imagine what his uh his wife and his children are going through, and what they'll continue to go through for months and years.
Kids probably don't even grasp it yet. I
At
mean,
least
they're
not.
you know,
Yeah, at least not the younger boy. I don't know how old he is. He looked like he was pretty young. But the little girl, she looked like she was probably at least 3 or 4.
yeah.
You know, I like I
Mhm.
I keep thinking to myself, I couldn't be his wife. I couldn't handle that for his wife to be there and then hear your daughter say, "Where's Daddy? Why isn't
Yeah.
he home? Why isn't he tucking me into bed tonight?"
Yeah.
So, Charlie Kirk wasn't a monster.
No.
He was a good man. You know,
Yeah.
like if we were to kind of sum up in a kind of a nutshell, I mean, aside from what we talked about, how he's trying to create that common ground, allow people to have hard conversations. He really, if you look at a lot of his stuff, he was fighting to give voice to the unborn, right? To stop abortion, trying to give a voice to those who had no voice.
Mm-hmm.
He also was fighting to stop the born children who still didn't really have a voice, where they're getting
Yeah.
transed, right? He,
Mutilate all that stuff.
yeah, and then he's killed for it. I mean, that wasn't that was the last thing he was talking about, right? Right before it happened.
Yeah, they were asking him about trans shooters.
Yeah, like mass shootings by trans is like how many have happened? He said, well, too many, right? Because
Yeah.
even one mass shooting is too many.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy is like, oh yeah, okay, but and then it was over.
Yeah. That's pretty
Um,
crazy.
I what are your thoughts on like, well, I'll ask this question in a minute. Let's kind of let's see what President Trump had to say. For those of you who may have missed it, President Trump talked about he released a statement. I want to watch this with you. Let me share my screen here.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year.
And he knows firsthand that violence and murder, I mean, they tried to murder him.
Yeah.
I mean, they came really close to taking his life. By a miracle, he was spared. You know, when it's your time to go, I guess it's your time to go. And the Lord must have said it was, it was time to seal his testimony with his blood.
Yeah.
But he's right. They're like the left does demonize all the way, and they openly and have regularly demonized people to the point of saying it is worth making these people silent, even if by violence, and even if that violence results in death. Right?
Yep.
It's just.
Did you see that news clip? Oh man, I should have told you about it. Maybe we did talk about it. It's some dude. I think it was MSNBC. He's talking about basically, well, Charlie Kirk brought this upon himself because he's full of hatred and the words he says are so divisive. So it's like, oh, it's his fault he got shot. And they did the same thing when Trump got shot.
Yeah, there's no remorse. There's no morality there, right? They don't know what right and wrong is. The only thing that's right to them is the power that they can secure from everyone else.
Pretty much.
Which is, that's Satan's reasoning. It doesn't matter if we don't actually want to follow God and be saved. It doesn't matter what our agency is.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he gets the glory and sits on God's throne, as long as he gets to be in power and do what he thinks is most righteous, which is forcing everyone to be saved.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, these are all ideologies of death. These Marxists, so there are the sects of the Christian church, right? There's Presbyterians, Protestants, Baptists, Lutherans, right? Those are Christian sects, SECTS. But there are Marxist sects. What are they? Well, transgender ideology. There's the black, BLM, Black Lives Matter, sort of stuff. Like these are all just different sects of the same religion, Marxism, which is the religion of death. It was created to be the anti-gospel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my question for you though is, do you think the left-leaning Latter-day Saints are going to see see that truth in the death of Charlie Kirk and realize that they're in the wrong? Because I can't see any rational human being, Latter-day Saint or not, who can justify his death. Right? I can see them saying, well, I don't think those sort of words should be shared ever. But then if you corner them and say, so you think he should be blown away? Well, no. It's like, okay, so there's no circumstances, right, in which he deserves death. Hopefully this makes them confront it, because this happened in Utah, so that makes a lot of Latter-day Saints shake at their boots. He was very controversial against, if you are a liberal Latter-day Saint and you can't comprehend that transgender ideology is evil and all these other things, and someone just died by opposing it, ask yourself the question.
I guess, again, this is where it made this one so much different. Because Trump's a big political figure, right? He's running for president at the time of the attempted assassination. But it fulfills what he was saying, though, what Trump had said. He's like, if they're willing to do it to me, imagine what they'll do to you. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I would say Charlie Kirk is definitely closer to being one of us than we are to being, like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And so literally, right, he's just going around speaking. That's all he does is speak. Yeah. Doesn't legislate, doesn't sign executive orders, doesn't do anything like that. And so
right. And I appreciate actually you bringing it back to this because I shared with you a half-baked idea, which was I said he was the number one conservative Christian. But the thing is, that's the half-baked idea. The full-baked idea was that I was trying to get around to the idea, but my brain left it, which is because he is the largest figure in the conservative Christian movement, which is the largest movement that exists in America. He has the greatest effect, more than any politician or anyone else, upon the minds of the people to fight evil ideologies and to vote in certain directions. So, like, oh yeah, I mean, he's way more influential than any politician because he gets millions of people to think and vote a certain way. Eliminate him, and so on. I spoke to this evening. They were saying, he assumes, like he's killed that way, the primaries go bad, and it's going to go bad in their face because people are going to come out and vote for Charlie. And it's like, I agree with that, but here's the other little victory that they are going to secure unless we come out swinging. And that is all they needed for the last couple of decades was for the Christian people to be too afraid to stand up and speak, or at least too comfortable to want to do so. And you kill Charlie Kirk, a man who was not willing to sit down and be quiet and comfortable. Are we now going to say, "Ugh,
they just shut up a bunch of conservative Christians.
Exactly. It's like, okay, maybe we'll come out swinging in the primaries in terms of voting. We'll vote a certain way, but they're going to win in the other battlefront, which matters more, which is, well, now we get to control the narrative way better because people are too afraid to speak because they know a bee sting might come for them."
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be interesting to see what really comes about with this, because I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, to kind of answer some of your question before about, I guess I would have thought people would have learned from Trump's attempted assassination, because we hadn't really had anything that serious, arguably, since Reagan. I mean, I know you had what's his name, Scalise there. When was that? Like 2013?
Yeah, near the end of Obama's time.
From the Bernie supporter. But like, we hadn't really seen a string of political assassinations and just craziness, I think, since Reagan, or even Kennedy, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, two big shootings like this in a year, just over a year, with elections coming up, it's, I don't know. I guess I was hoping people would have learned from Trump's, but obviously not.
So in what way do you feel? In what way do you feel like they didn't learn? Like what do you mean? Like what were you hoping they learned, and you think you see the evidence that they didn't learn?
Well, just number one, I'd say the media, and so, to some degree on both sides. I do get tired of sources on the right that are constantly. I don't think they take it as far as the left does, but because they don't call for. I don't know. Some stuff on the right drives me crazy because, they'll go just as far as, MSNBC or CNN or some of the left-leaning sources do about, naming things, naming people, and this and that, whatever. They get just as sensational sometimes. It drives me crazy. But, after Trump's assassination attempt, you would have thought they would have been like, okay, we need to pump the brakes on calling this dude Hitler. The MAGA movement is a bunch of Nazis.
So you mean
but the media themselves, and then the social media firestorm that just engulfs it all, makes it worse, pours gasoline on the flame.
Right.
It might have paused for, I don't know, maybe a day or two, but not very much. But I think especially ever since the election and Trump won, maybe it would have been different if Trump had lost, but Trump won, and so now it's the ICE agents are the secret Gestapo police, even though Trump didn't create them, and other presidents have used them to greater effect than Trump is right now.
But this is exactly why it becomes so easy to eliminate your political enemies, because
that's what I was getting at.
You've made a moral equivalent.
Hitler.
Yeah.
So we got to assassinate, right? It's kind of like the question of, would you kill baby Hitler?
Yeah.
Like if you could go back in time, would you kill baby Hitler because you know what he does?
And what's worse is
So
that you have a crowd of people who now care so little about even the value of baby and the morality there. Their
Mhm.
answer is yes. Their answer is baby embryo Hitler to newborn Hitler to toddler Hitler. They would basically. Just never mind. I'm not going to say the comment I was going to say. It's very, very terrible. I want to jump real fast to when the shooting happened. Remember the MSNBC reporter that said that the shooter might have been a supporter shooting off their gun in celebration. Like,
they got to be so quick to say something that they just say the most idiotic things.
I remember when Trump got shot. I saw Rachel Maddow say a positive thing. She said, "This is terrible. My prayers are for his family." I was just like, "What a classy." I despise. I
For one.
don't really. I think Maddow's a terrible anchor,
Oh
but
yeah,
she at least was a good American in that moment. It was just like,
right.
right,
Well,
and
that's what I mean. Like when that happened, I thought, at least for a little while, like, all right, let's get all on the same page.
well, the thing is,
Let's put everything
what you're
down.
hoping for is a Reagan moment and a JFK assassination moment, right? Where it's like people didn't always agree with I guess JFK is not a good example because everyone freaking loved him. But like Ronald Reagan, he had plenty of enemies. He was kind of
Yeah.
like the Trump of his day. However, America's uh, um, unity was stronger back then. We were willing to look past differences because we were American. Just like he's about to go into surgery and he says, "Hope none of you are Democrat," and the surgeon says, "Mr. President, today we're all Republican," because it's like it doesn't matter, sir. We don't care. Like
Yeah.
politics matter little. We're gonna save your life. That's not today. That's not today at all. Like I'm not
No.
saying there's gonna be doctors in there going, well, I'm not gonna do anything. What I mean is the feeling. What that doctor said to Reagan represented the feeling of Americans generally.
Hmm.
That's not today. When Trump almost got killed, it was. I mean, you saw Tenacious D, the not Jack Black, but the other
Yeah.
guy say like, "Next time, don't miss."
Don't miss Trump next time.
Yeah.
Like that is the feeling. That's
Hmm.
that is the radicalness. And
Yeah.
you're right. I agree that the left, even the fence sitting left, I should say, because you go all the way, you're far enough left, they're just completely bonkers and you can't win them. But those who at least should have enough sense, you would have hoped that from the Trump shooting, they would have woken up and been like, "This is not good." So let me let's review. I wanted to show something real fast. I think that was really powerful because Charlie was unafraid to put it to people. And when we talk about how crazy the left can be, I mean the right can be crazy too, sure, but I really only see one place, one side that has a lot of sway and power of communication, visibility, and influence upon the minds of the people. And there's no one bigger than that than the left. And they call for violence and for death, and they support these things. They celebrate these things. They mourn the loss of terrorist dictators when they're murdered, right? Or even terrorists. Like when Trump kills a terrorist, they're like, "No, he was such a good guy," right? Um,
Or
some
they
of the
support the Maryland man that was deported or whatever, and
so
then brought back and
exactly
then deported again
exactly
or whatever.
that was actually the example I wanted to share was that exactly precise.
Only the U.S. citizen that was deported under Donald Trump who said that twice. Yeah, the U.S. citizen that was deported under Donald Trump. Can anyone tell me 1,000 pounds? I'll give it to you right now. Yeah, name? Wrong, not a U.S. citizen. A citizen of El Salvador. Anyone else? U.S. citizen deported under Trump. Nope. You should know better than that. Go to Oxford. So that is a correction. Number two, can you tell me when it comes to Charlottesville, something that you said when Donald Trump said that there were people on both sides, he was actually talking about the statue debate, not what you said. So that's a hoax. That's line number two. Oh yeah, you said that somebody over here said something about.
I just hand it to him. This dude's just like, if they're fishing a
Those
barrel,
people.
he's holding the shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to find his demeanor, the way he'd go about this, a bit abrasive. And I didn't really like it. I just felt it was just in
Yeah.
a bit of an arrogant sort of way. But I've come to appreciate over time, like his last couple of years, especially, like this guy's saying some pretty legit stuff. And I'd say he's probably more refined than he was before. But then he's also not afraid to just sound bullish like he does here, or bearish, where it's just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Screw this. Like, I'm just gonna fish in a barrel time because that's what you guys deserve.
Well, it's just that, well, truth should be smacking down lies. Why do we have to be, yes, you want to be tactful, you want to be
Tact. Sometimes, hold on. I just have to say, we've been so worried as Latter-day Saints about tact that we're a bunch of pussyfooters, right? We pussyfoot around
Yeah, there's definitely that.
flipping
I mean,
everything.
there is a time to be tactful, but there's definitely times where you just smack it down, man.
It's like a flipping fly coming at your face. Whoosh, like, um, this is the time when I was saying earlier, this is like gloves are off now. We have to stop pussyfooting around, and hopefully that doesn't offend anyone. That is a reference to a pussycat, right? Tiptoeing around things you can't hear them, right? Like we don't want to, don't rock the boat, baby. Like that's basically like our theme song is Latter Day Saints.
Yeah.
Don't rock the boat, but like Captain Moroni, he wasn't very tactful. I'm sure he was until it became critical. Are we critical, Ryan? What do you think? Are we at a critical moment, or like how many more people have to be blown away?
Yeah, I would definitely say we're in pretty critical moments now. We also do have to keep cooler heads as well.
Exactly. I
Right.
totally agree with that because going back to Captain Moroni, he wasn't like kill these fetchers, right? But he was like stand up and say something now, or we're lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Well, like, it sounded like you had an example there. What, like, so you say keep cooler heads. What do you worry about, like when people don't keep cooler heads? Like you think
Well, it's
because
just right. I'm seeing a lot of comments from, well, it's just I worry about the far right or even just people a little bit more than moderate right starting to
feel like they're closer to the edge
kind
when
of using this as the flashpoint almost, right?
yeah,
To not necessarily to go vigilante, but to just
they
I mean
what
coupled with the I mean the killing was actually like 3 weeks ago or like 2, 3 weeks ago of that Ukrainian girl in North
that was a
Carolina.
couple weeks ago,
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago.
and they
That was like
they
the end of
sat on
August.
it. Oh,
Yeah, and so nobody's talked about this. But anyways, um, just I see a lot of comments and this keyboard warrior kind of crap too, but so you do have to think about that. But it's just, people are what's the favorite, not my favorite, but the favorite comment that I see people throw down is um about, let's just say black people is the oh, how do they say it? Basically, like they're sick and tired of it. I can't think of the term that they use, dang it. Basically, they're sick and tired of it, of, basically repeat offenders, violent offenders, getting just whatever, and then they go and kill somebody, and it's like, well, so they're sick and tired of
and they
that. Then
focus
you
on the
get
wrong thing, right? Like so, like they're getting radicalized in the fact that they're getting upset and they want to take action about this, but they have the
right,
focus in the wrong area. It's not about race. It's about the evil, corrupt judges, right? Just like the Book of
right,
Mormon says. It's about the people in power who allow evil individuals, no matter what color they are, to do bad things.
right. But where's the action going to happen? You're not going to see conservative people going after judges.
No.
You're going to see conservative people probably, and I hope this doesn't happen, but probably being more quick to pull a gun on a black person because they feel worried, right? They might be quicker to take violent action. Again, I hope this doesn't happen and that cooler heads prevail. You know, I hope, and because we are the party of guns, although I would probably say right now that the left-leaning side with guns are more dangerous than the right side with guns.
No doubt.
But it's just, I would hate for people to use this as the flashpoint of, oh, it's war now. You know what I mean? Because they killed somebody that's just talk. Well, and here's the other thing. We don't even know who killed Charlie yet, right? So we do have to keep cooler heads there. Wait until stuff actually starts getting figured out, and who knows how long that's going to take. But it's obviously not going to help anybody for us to start going around and fighting people.
Well, let me let me
Yeah.
let me jump into a couple of rabbit holes with you real fast because I think this is interesting. It could be nothing, but I wanted to share this with you. Do you see this right here? So this was a UVU student who had posted this the day before. It says,
Hmm.
Charlie Kirk is on X. Charlie Kirk is coming to my college tomorrow. I really hope someone evaporates him literally. let's just say something big will happen tomorrow. Like, I mean, that's pretty confident words.
Yeah.
Like straight up. And then they have this random image, this GIF, of a dog thing. And someone I was speaking to was saying that from what they have, the people they follow and listen to, and the things they have observed, the picture image of a dog is a normal sort of thing that people will post, and then a shooting happens the next day. And they almost wonder if it's like Manchurian Candidate, MK Ultra sort of stuff, where people are just waiting for the correct trigger to tell them it's time to activate.
Mm-hmm.
Because that stuff does exist. Like that's not conspiracy theory. That's fact. Well, the theory here is, the conspiracy here is this even related? Because the truth is, maybe people post this stuff at every single time there's an event coming.
Well, yeah, people say crap like this all the time.
They do. So it's like, okay, but or do they, right? Because a lot of times when people do post this sort of stuff directly, it gets into the right-leaning news, and we hear about it. They're like, how disgusting of these people who are saying time to evaporate, right? Like, but maybe not, right? Because there's a difference between someone commenting stupid crap like that in a comment section versus someone posting this as their main feed about murdering an individual, which seems a little bit different. So
yeah, but you get stuff like, who was the dude that was it Comey walking on the beach a few weeks ago? It was like, we need to 86,
46 or
47 or
yeah,
whatever.
oh yeah.
Nobody did anything about that, and that's a a well-known figure. So who's
Sure.
gonna see this? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. So yeah, he put that out there, and my question is that just him expressing an opinion that's distasteful, or was he trying to trigger,
Yeah, right.
a cell, right?
Well, yeah, like you're saying, that's total conspiracy
It
stuff.
is it is all conspiracy because I mean I don't know enough about it. I trust this individual pretty well to where it's like, well, if they've seen this pattern, maybe it's true, because the other side
Yeah,
is everything is a
yeah.
conspiracy theory until 6 days later you find out it's fact. um,
I know
let
we
me
have run out of conspiracy theories lately.
we
So,
have. I want to. Can you still see my screen? Can you see this? Get your
yeah,
content here.
yeah.
I was just sent this.
I heard something about this, but I hadn't
Yeah,
seen too many videos on it or
I heard.
anything.
I was walking away from activity night with my wife and kids and stuff, and I heard this, and I said, "You need to. I need to like send me crap. Like I want to see this." And so he actually just sent it to me, and oh my gosh. Okay, it says footage shows individual running across roof at Lucy Center moment. So Lucy Center is the event center at UVU, which was
Right.
right next to where Kirk was at UVU when he got shot.
Yeah.
Look at that. So either this is
Hmm.
security personnel, but even was it you
That's not security.
or
They don't look like
someone,
that.
yeah, I don't think so, because someone else was saying that one of the problems was they said that his security personnel didn't seem like it was really that thorough, that robust.
Well, yeah, again, he's not a politician. He's not going to have
Yeah.
that kind of security. I know he has, I don't know, a handful of, private security that goes with him.
Yeah. I mean, he
And I
has
was
a guy in
listening.
the background, like the guy who always wears this like really tight fitting shirt and pants. And he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Same
yeah,
dude every time. Yeah, you see
every
like the
time.
same like two or three security guys. You're like, hey, I've seen those guys before too. But I was watching, you know, the news and they're interviewing different people and it was a girl, she was a student at UVU, and I think she might have been part of the TPUSA or one of the conservative things on campus. And she was saying like there was only like 6 cops there, which doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure there was more than
Six
that.
cops.
Yeah, but again, I'm pretty sure there was more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But at the same time, from what the last I heard, right, that shooter's like 200 yards away. That's what they're saying right
supposedly,
now, right? That
supposedly.
shooter's 200 yards away on the roof there. So, in my opinion, the police presence probably didn't go that far.
No. Oh, wait, right here.
Yeah, I saw this
Oh,
video,
you did?
but the person's just like laying there. I didn't see a video of them running. I don't know.
He just ran from over. Where's my finger? Well, from over there, ran in. Now he's right there.
But if it's after the shots, I don't know why the person would still be there.
Yeah, no, obviously this is before the shot because no one's running for cover and scared, right? So this is clearly before the shot. He's going, I just saw someone run across the roof and set up in place. So
Hmm.
this got to be incorrectly written because, I mean, no one's walking around casually like, hey guys, let's go get a coffee. Let's look at my cell phone. Right? These aren't scared individuals who just witnessed a shooting.
Uh,
What is this? See, this is the reaction to the shooting. Inside
yeah.
and outside the building. I mean, other than this dude,
Well,
this,
and here's the other thing too. Like, people don't know what a gunshot sounds like. And
unfortunately.
and if there's just one, people aren't gonna like unless, right, someone gets hit, nobody's really gonna know what really happened. They'll just be like, "Oh, that was a weird noise. I don't know what that was."
Yeah.
Some people would know and start kind of be like, something ain't right." But
So then I guess maybe what I'm seeing here is this is the video of someone noticing something before, kind of like what happened with the Trump shooting was like, we see someone right there, and they're telling the cops, there's someone on the roof. Conveniently,
yeah.
there's no cover on the roof, and no one's allowed to scope. And then
Oh,
it's
they're all saying
after the shoot. Look at
after.
that. Yeah, someone's definitely booking it,
Yeah,
leaning this way, running that
that
way.
would make sense. That's like literally right after it, right?
Yeah. Yep. Look at that. Oh, yep. Because you can see he starts about
Yeah.
the middle of the roof when the video starts. He gets to there before the video moves. Like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
they freaking saw that. Sorry, I'm Mormon cussing now. Um, so here's what I think is very, very clear: that the left is emboldened to create chaos because chaos allows them to secure more power, and they they value power more than anything else. So if people have to die in the process of them getting it, so be it, right?
Yeah.
They murdered people in the judgment seat. They usurped.
Mm-hmm.
That got Pahoran to literally flee from the judgment seat because they had such an uprising of people in the government.
Yeah.
And now you have a situation in America today where it's very clearly not some Joe Schmo who goes up and lines up and lands the perfect shot.
No, that's what Trump's shooter was just some stupid kid. Well, not a kid, but an untrained person.
Given an open
He got
window.
pretty close. Got pretty dang close, but
Yeah.
this was, for a one shot deal, like
And there was no additional shots, right? It wasn't
mm,
like you were saying, even with the pistol, where you're like, you might as well just keep firing off rounds because just be safe. It was
right.
boom, and then there's an individual running.
Mm-hmm.
So this smells so much like the government is in it. I'm not saying Trump called the assassination of a friend of his, not at all.
Yeah, yeah, right. I
It,
got
but that the getting at
something
robbers, oh, sorry,
trained professional of some kind, probably.
yeah, the getting at robbers are not gone, right? We like to
No.
print like here's the thing that really upsets me is that Latter-day Saints, like I said, we like to pussyfoot around. So we're like, we can't talk about this. And now it's
Yeah.
like, well, the gloves have to be off because now we have to start speaking very boldly. Because when it comes down to it, it's like what we were messaging before. We only have two recourses here. Preach the gospel far more boldly. Stop pretending that these ideologies are of any value or of any common ground whatsoever. They are satanic. So screw that. People
Mm-hmm.
want the security and the freedom and the liberty that Jesus Christ can provide, nothing else. So we're done messing around. What you have is evil. Come unto Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And stop killing people. So preaching the gospel very boldly, but then we also have the sword. We have the gospel, preach it more boldly. We have the sword because eventually, sometimes the righteous people are forced reluctantly, like it says in the Book of Mormon, to go to battle
Mm-hmm.
against their brethren.
They were compelled reluctantly to contend with their brethren, the Lamanites. Now they were sorry to take up arms against the Lamanites because they did not delight in the shedding of blood. Nevertheless, they could not suffer to lay down their lives, that their wives and their children should be massacred by the barbarous cruelty.
And
Yeah.
like it said about the Nephites, right? And they would not go to battle with them if the Lamanites would leave them alone. But nevertheless, they go out to battle to protect their wives and their children.
Right. But Alex, it says that we need to turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
I think it says what? You can turn the cheek, a few times, and then you got to answer back.
Yeah. Well, There's so much behind that because also the more you read into it, the more you discover that the Sermon on the Mount is a endowment session, an endowment text. And so he's
Mhm.
talking about the particulars, the way the endowment was performed then. And there's something to be said about that. That's the funny thing is like we can look at these biblical texts and we can draw surface level examples that are generally applicable, but most people, even avoiding the depths, most people don't have the cognitive abilities to piece together all the principles and how they work together.
Mm.
Because people go, Jesus said, love everyone, hug them, kiss their tushies, love them. And it's like, okay, but Jesus also called Herod a fox. He called the Jews, the Jewish leaders, liars and hypocrites and likened them to vipers, right? Like
Yeah.
Jesus wasn't I'm gonna hug you and kiss you all over and make you
He
feel
wasn't
like
a pacifist.
no, he wasn't a pacifist. He wasn't a pansy, and like I said, we are Latter-day Saints. We want to so badly to just fit in and let people know that we're worthy of being liked and loved. It's like, no, we love the Lord our God first. That is the great commandment in the law.
Hmm.
And if we love him enough, we love him properly, then we will love ourselves and our neighbor in the right way that we do not allow them to go on in deception, deceive themselves and be like, it's okay if you cut off your upper portion as a woman because you want to look like a man. That's
Yeah.
not okay. You will find freedom in life by, accepting, embracing your eternal identity. Anyways, I'm ranting here, but this, at least that's in my mind. That's what it means. The gloves are off. No more talking, all all like, give me
Yeah.
this. Because to be a peacemaker
Yeah.
doesn't mean you do not contend, right, Ryan? You are the one who taught me this principle so powerfully that to be a peacemaker, to be a peaceful individual, does not mean you don't contend. Contention and contending are not the same thing. Can you
Hmm.
elaborate on that a little more?
Well, I think this is where actually Charlie Kirk is a great example, right? He can lay it down pretty bluntly if he ever had to, but at the same time, he was typically, you know, he was just speaking truth, and he would do it politely until you probably pushed him pretty far about some ridiculous things. And then he would be like, "Okay, no, this is stupid. I will contend with you. I will debate you,
Yeah,
but I will not be contentious, right? I will not take it to fistfights. I will not say you're a total scumbag, lying piece of crap." Yeah, he'll tell you that you're wrong and maybe you're lying, and that these ideologies here's a good thing that he would usually say when questioned about it. He would say when people would ask him, why do you hate trans people? Why do you want to get rid of trans people? He's like, I don't want to get rid of trans people. I don't hate trans people. I hate the ideology, right?
right.
Because of what it teaches and what it does to
That's
people,
right.
right? He's not saying we need to genocide the trans people. He was just saying this idea is destructive on so many levels. It's anti-Christian, it's anti-Christ, it's just anti-common sense.
Anti-humanity. Yeah.
Yeah, anti-humanity. So it was just so I think that's I would just say the way Charlie Kirk did it, I think is just a great way to do this. Call it out when you see it. You can still tear down and then love and build up. You know what I mean? So
That's
in a way I'd say he's very, very Christ-like in that manner.
Yeah, he definitely was bold like the Savior was.
Hmm.
And you're right, his typical approach anytime people would talk to him is he would try to find the common ground. And
Hmm.
when they wouldn't find the common ground, then he'd say, okay, well then I have to meet you where you're at. Right? You
Yeah.
you don't want to meet on a knoll of grass. We talk together, you just want to put on the fisticuffs, then I'm just gonna all right, then fisticuff we go.
Yeah.
But with every individual, he gave them the benefit of the doubt and he started there. And then you
Hmm.
try to bring it back to there, and when it didn't work, he'd say, okay, time to demolish you. Right.
Or just end the conversation in general because it was just okay, we're not going to get anywhere with this. So,
Like that's where we disagree. Thank you.
right,
Bye.
I think you're wrong. On we go.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, um, so my hope, and this is kind of my clarion call to every Latter-day Saint who's listening to this, and if you're not a Latter-day Saint, still for you too, and that is stand up. We need more Charlie Kirks out there. We need a lot more Charlie Kirks out there. We need more bold Latter-day Saints. And we need more Ezra Taft Bensons out there who are willing to speak the truth, right? But I think some people fear that if they do so, not only will they lose popularity, but they also will lose the ability to serve in God's kingdom because no one will give them a calling, right? No one will give them a calling because it's like, oh, I'm offensive to too many people. It's like, well, I guess, but you know who had probably the greatest calling that we know in the last dispensation? Joseph Smith. And he offended people all the time. He said they fly apart like glass anytime he introduced something new to them, right?
Well, and here's the other thing, right? What's being offended? That's just somebody's opinion and ideas being hurt,
Yeah.
right? Being offended relies on the person hearing the message, not the person telling it.
Yeah.
Lauren Boebert, I can never say her name right. I think it's Congresswoman from Colorado, Republican. I guess she got up today and said, "Hey, I want to say a prayer and a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk." And basically, right after she said that, the Democrats started screaming and shouting, "No, no, no!" and tried to shout down Speaker Johnson. That was like, "Yeah, we're going to do that," and they started shouting him down and and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, you talk about, I don't know, just the hypocrisy that I see, and like you were saying, the doubling down on stupid and division. Like, yeah, we need to come together as a country, but we're gonna boo down all those Christians and all those people that love prayer and alienate ourselves even more.
Yeah.
But they seem incapable of understanding this.
But because it's a radical religion to them, right? They cannot change.
Something.
That's
Well,
so
it's anti-Christian. Yeah, it goes back to being anti-Christian.
Yeah, I want to put the clip in here in the post edit. I want to put the clip in here of her calling for that moment of silence for Charlie Kirk because people need to see that. I'll make sure that's included in here, even in the hook for the video. The people got to see that. That's disgusting.
Sir, someone who may lead us in a moment of prayer out loud for Charlie and his family.
Well, then you also just have all the people celebrating online too,
Well,
I've seen a ton of posts of some people are like, yeah, my people I know started sending me text messages of like champagne, the champagne emoji
no way.
bottle popping open and stuff like that. Like, okay, so I guess we're just okay with killing other people now.
Man.
I guess the left is embracing deep in political terrorism. I mean, I guess terrorism is political in the definition, but this is very politically oriented as opposed to, religious terrorism or whatever you want.
Well, this brings out the point that I want to nail, which is it is no longer just those running for office who are in danger for opposing the ideologies. It is now the common man, like he said. Trump said, if they could do it to me, they could do it to you. They are now doing it to us. Final words. Let's do this. So may God bless America. We need the sort of civil dialogue and contending without contention. But a very aggressive, outreach and speaking and fighting against these ideologies. So may God bless America and the family of Charlie Kirk. He is a martyr. He's a hero and he's a martyr. He died for his cause, and I think it was a righteous cause. That's what I think.
And I think I mentioned this in our messages, but we all know what happens to people that die in the service of God. So that are killed in His name,
saved in the everlasting kingdom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also want to end with this experience made me hug my kids a lot more tightly tonight. Knowing that he was not there to give his wife and his kids a hug and kiss goodnight. I finally did something that I kept wanting to do for like months now, and then I kept forgetting. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I should do it. I wanted to do a dad dog pile with all my kids. Just like have them all on top of me and me hug them. And so as we're driving home from Wednesday night activity, I said, kids, we're going to do a dad dog pile and get home. And a little bit of groaning, some excitement.
Oh God, come on.
And but they did. And it's just wonderful just to be able to hold them and for them to just be so happy and positive and not realize and not have to realize it's not important for them to know that someone out there is never going to do that with their dad ever. That's and that I love them more than anything. And that's what matters. Like, we stand up for this because we love the Savior, but also because we love our families.
Mm-hmm.
This is for our families. So those are my final words. What are yours, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, keep serving God. That's God in Christ, man. If everything you do is in their name, then what do you got to really worry about?
True.
I don't know. I don't think that's very enlightening, but
No, but you come from a place of an individual who has faced life and death, and that you've had to, being in the military and fighting in Afghanistan, you've had to, as a way of living, say, I'm willing to die for this. And that's not something people have ever experienced. That's not the normal American citizen thing. So like, you come from a place of duty that has already gone to the line that we all now need to get to.
So here's a I wouldn't call it ironic, but here's an interesting thing that I thought of today, and I've kind of had this feeling. Probably for the last decade or so, really, but today it kind of hit home pretty hard again. But it's just kind of I'm not saying my service was wasted or what I did was wasted, but just kind of like, this is what I fought for. This is the America that I fought for. I mean, obviously realizing what really happened with the global war on terror, it's like, okay, I was definitely stupid and naive about a lot of stuff, but I believed in that. I mean, we've talked about this in other episodes, but the World War II guys were my heroes. They had a righteous war. They fought for righteous things. Not that they were perfect, but World War II is a righteous war. Anything after that, a little sketchy in my opinion.
I agree.
But that doesn't dilute or make the service of those guys and gals worth less, right? But I will say, like, seeing this kind of stuff, like, this is the kind of crap I saw in third world countries. You know what I mean? Like, political violence and assassination of people, and almost in Iraq especially, was like mob rule. It's like this town, this hamlet, they had their crew, and they fought other crews, and we were just trying to get everybody to be on the same team. And it was like, this is third world crap. You know what I mean? And so when I sit there and think about this is not what I envision America should be, or even what our founders envisioned America should be.
Yeah.
And so, this is not what I fought for. This is not what thousands or millions of other service members have fought for. And so it's just kind of man, it's just, I don't know. I'm still trying to piece all that together, kind of. Just very disconcerting.
I get that. Those are very, very valid points. And I totally see where you're coming from. You don't want the people that have sacrificed to keep America a good nation, no matter the circumstances in which they went into war. You don't want to see that America dissolve into the mobocracy and other tyrannies that you've seen. And yet, regardless of your sacrifice and theirs, this is where we've now come to.
At the core of the left, at the core of a liberal, is someone that would use the sword if they had it. They are very violent people at their core. They always have been. They can't debate. They can't have conversation. So they'll resort to these tactics. They're going to do everything they possibly can to try to murder this movement because they can't beat us. So they're going to try to take weapons. And no, we're very aware of that. I'm aware of it. We have to have full-time security. This is not a joke. This is who these people are.